Hands down, the most influential person in my 21 years of living is my father. My dad, paying for half of his tuition through college, graduated from USC with a bachelor's degree in computer science and went straight to working for a top firm in the business consulting world. Meeting my mom in college, they were married right away and had my brother and I within 2 years. Having 2 kids before the age of 30 was something neither of them had expected. All I can remember is moving around everywhere, from Australia to Arizona, California, Minnesota, you name it. We went with my dad to where his work moved him to almost every 2 years. He would leave Monday mornings before my brother and I woke and come home Friday nights after we had gone to sleep. I know this wasn't his ideal way to be spending the younger years of his children's lives or remembering being the adolescent father he was, but he was determined to make it all count. And he did. By the time I was 11, he promised it would be our last move to Newport Beach, California, where he had risen so quickly in the company because of all of his hard work, he was able to station and make decisions as managing partner. At age 43, he retired from a booming business to continue on to hobbies he had never had the chance to get into. He got into boating, dirt biking, vintage car racing, but mostly spending time with his family. We would go on crazy adventures and unbelievable vacations because to him, there was no price on time well spent with the ones you loved. From New Zealand travels up and down the coast to Ireland adventures and taking in all its beauties, or even to South Africa to get to see all the wild animals, it was vacations like these that brought our family closer together, no matter how old we got, because getting to share these experiences with one another only create unforgettable memories. 3 years ago, my grandfather, his dad, passed away after multiple surgeries and treatments in the hospital. On the morning of his funeral, as I walked up to the podium to give my speech, I realized it was the first time I have ever seen my dad shed a tear. He was always a rock, a sturdy man that always had his eye on his family and would never budge. But seeing his only daughter speaking about the precious life of his own father was something that hit a nerve. It was then that I realized for the first time that my dad was actually human. He was never an emotional person. He was strictly business and a role model to anyone and everyone that has come in touch with him. But on that morning, I realized that there are very few things that can break a man's spirit, and one was family, and for that I admire him the most. See, my father had a plan, and he was a determined, driven individual who would never take no for an answer. He kept his work at the office and loved his family time at home. Even through my younger years, no matter how busy he was, my dad never missed a soccer game or a track meet and would always spend his free time with us kicking the ball around or playing in the park. I understand now that it's because of him that my family is the way it is today, and I wouldn't give it up for anything. He taught me hard work, that if you want something bad enough, it's always going to have some consequences, but you have to outweigh and look toward the future. He taught me determination. I have never in all my life seen my dad back down from a project or a deal that he knew he could take. He taught me the importance of family. No matter how upset or frustrated I can get, it's the power of family bonds that will always keep bringing us back together. And lastly, he taught me the importance of humor. My dad was always the one, without a doubt, to break the tension with a joke or to keep our family outings alive. A little optimism and side chatter never hurt anyone, and to be able to keep people entertained with a little bit of witty sarcasm can captivate crowds. My dad met the love of his life at age 22 and has been married for 23 years. He has a family who adores him, and because of all of his hard work, he can pretty much do whatever he desires. From the outside, it looks like a fairy tale. On the inside, it's inspiring to have been able to see how he got there. Ever since I was young, our teachers almost every year assigned a project to us that would ask us to write about the most influential person in our lives. Every year, I never sway from talking about how amazing a person my father is. He worked his way from the ground up and is now the most successful person I know, spiritually and financially, because it's not always the money that determines success, but the love of yourself and of others with whom you might share it.